TK422 here. Now, I know what you're going to say. TK422, why are you dressed like a Jedi? Well, that's a great question. It's been 20 years since Attack of the Clones came out. 20 years. Time sure flies faster than a TIE fighter. Well, I just wanted to talk today a little bit about my experience with Attack of the Clones and growing up with that film. I absolutely loved Attack of the Clones when it came out. At this point, I had seen A New Hope and The Phantom Menace, which I'll talk a little bit more about in some other videos. And sure, yes, I already knew about the big I am your father reveal, spoilers, since my sister decided to tell me all about everyone's relationship before I even saw the movies. So, and this is a different sister than the one that introduced me to Star Wars in the first place. And we'll talk about that in another video. I believe I was in second grade when Attack of the Clones came out. I remember, seeing all the trailers like in first grade, and Attack of the Clones is the film that really, really got me into Star Wars and made me very excited about it. Not to say Episode 1 and A New Hope did not, because I became a big fan with those two. In fact, first grade I dressed up as Darth Maul. I'm pretty sure every Halloween for pretty much all of grade school I dressed up as some Star Wars character. I think I was Darth Maul, I was Anakin Skywalker at the poncho, and then I was an X-Wing pilot. I think I even dressed up as Kit Fisto one year. So as every year dressed up in some way. But Attack of the Clones is really the movie that probably pushed me over into the fanatic fandom, if you will, which I'm very proud of. Not a bad thing. But Attack of the Clones is when I really, my friends and I, we'd pretend like we were Jedi at recess and have lightsaber battles and talk about what's going to happen in Revenge of the Sith. I'm pretty sure that, we were fifth graders when that came out, but I think by the time the movie came out, we had figured out the main plot points. We had searched the web, we had read the novelization, figured out, what scene's going to happen when and how it's going to work out. Listened to the soundtrack before the movie came out. We really got into it, which I try not to do that kind of stuff anymore, because going into the movie without any kind of expectations or knowing what it's about, I think makes it even more exciting now that I've grown up and understand that. But back then it was like, oh, can't get enough of it. I need to know everything that's going to happen. And as a kid, you still go to the movie and love everything you see. Anyways, even though you know what's going to happen, you still love it. But Attack of the Clones is that magical time before when you didn't know quite what was going to happen. Sure, I knew Anakin Skywalker would eventually fall to the dark side, but at this point, it was so exciting. It seemed like just a fun movie. It was so action-packed. I know a lot of people talk about the love scenes, they're poorly written, the dialogue, and all that stuff. But as a kid, when you come out of there, you remember, man, they were fighting. They were shooting lasers in an asteroid field. Jango Fett was shooting Obi-Wan in the rain. There's 200 Jedi running out with lightsabers, Mace Windu fighting Jango Fett, Count Dooku and Anakin with two lightsabers, and he goes on, and then Yoda comes out. And there was nothing cooler as a kid than seeing Yoda walking in with a cane, turning on a lightsaber, doing all sorts of kinds of flips and just, really kicking butt. And then, afterwards picking up his cane again and slowly walking towards Anakin and Obi-Wan. It was a lot of fun. I remember I bought some of the little toys, little action figures and things like that. But one of my favorites, I had this lightsaber that didn't collapse all the way because it lit up. And back then, the ones that lit up, they didn't collapse all the way. But this one was really shiny. It was, chrome painted. It was the first lightsaber I ever had that looked metallic. It obviously wasn't metal. It was plastic, but it was Anakin Skywalker's from his lightsaber from Attack of the Clones. And if I remember correctly, you'd press a button or you'd swing it, and then Yoda would say stuff to you and tell you what to do. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't any good at it, but it didn't matter. It was a lightsaber. I loved it. I'm sure it broke, which happened to pretty much every single lightsaber I owned, except I think my very first one, ironically, the one that got the most wear and tear. It's like they say in those documentaries, they just don't make lightsabers like they used to. But I think that was my only one that really survived 20 plus years. But, just seeing that chrome Anakin Skywalker lightsaber everywhere, you saw it on all the toys, all the action figures, and he was holding it up in the air above his head. It was just so much fun. And I remember, you wanted to be like Anakin Skywalker, you wanted to be like Obi-Wan, just, fly around the galaxy and help people. And I just remember it was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. It was a good time to be a kid, I just also remember driving, I didn't drive. I was I was like 8 or 9. But my parents we would be driving down the street, and we'd be passing the movie theater, and every single time I said, "Hey, so you want to go watch Star Wars?" And it was just I meant it as a joke even then, but my parents would laugh, like, "Oh, no, you already seen it. You've seen it." But I would keep every single time we passed, I would say, "Let's go watch Star Wars." Oh, can we go watch Star Wars? Let's go watch Star Wars, And I think there was every once in a while I was able to kind of talk them into actually going again. I think I ended up seeing Attack of the Clones 3 times in theaters. And I think episode 3 might have been the same. But yeah, it was so much fun. Around the time of Attack of the Clones being released, with all this excitement, I remember my dad pulled out the old VHS camera, and I decided, I took some family members, and we started making our own little Star Wars videos. It was just we kind of put on a play in the backyard and just had my dad film it, and I remember we wrote all the titles on either like printer paper or notebook paper, and we would just hold it right in front of the camera for the titles while we had the music playing, and then we'd go out with our plastic lightsabers and whatnot. And I think I wore this patterned ski mask because I thought it looked kind of like, it could be like Darth Maul's brother or something like that. It was just really dumb, but it was fun. We had a good time, and then shortly after this, I actually met some people from the 501st Legion. I was like, wow, people dress up as Star Wars characters, and even more. What I learned is that people made their own Star Wars films with visual effects and lightsabers and things like that, and so I started figuring out and learning how to do that, and I would spend hours on the computer learning how to do a lightsaber and make lightsaber effects. And of course, it would be 15 years later, I think, that I actually I met some of these 501st people again, and one of the guys I even remembered from when I was like 8 or 9. I'm like, I remember you telling me about this, and I remember you bringing in a Darth Vader's lightsaber you built using Home Depot parts, and for some reason it stuck out to me. The bottom of it, I remember, was the cap for a gallon of milk that you spray painted, and just like these funny things that stuck out to me. So I talked to this guy again, and he kind of showed me how, told me a little bit more about the 501st and where people got their costuming and how they built it and stuff. And I thought, that's something I want to do. I would love to put Stormtroopers in my videos. And then here I am now. I am a Stormtrooper making videos all from the perspective of a Stormtrooper. So I guess you can say Attack of the Clones had a really profound influence on me, and a great impact on my life. And it was such a great time because there's a lot of people, a lot of us, my friends and family, were really excited about Star Wars, but it was kind of like if you ran into somebody who was a Star Wars fan, like that was gold, because not that there weren't very many, but it's probably safe to say, maybe not as many. Because nowadays you talk to somebody, everybody's a Star Wars fan, right? Or to some degree, whether it's just because they like, Baby Yoda, Grogu, or they just like, just the originals, or they're prequel fans, or they're sequel fans, or they're fans of all of it, or the television shows, or whatever it may be. Everyone to some degree nowadays seems to be a Star Wars fan, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's like the more the merrier. I still enjoy talking about Star Wars, but back then it was, when you found somebody who was a Star Wars fan, you could sit there for hours and just talk about Star Wars and learn stuff from each other. Now a lot of times I feel like when I meet somebody who's a big Star Wars fan, it just becomes about debates and arguing, and more talking about what we don't like rather than what we do like. And I think that's a little bit of a shame, because I want to talk about what I love, and I want to talk to somebody who loves that as well, and that's fine if you don't like some aspects. That's fine, but I don't really want to talk about that. Let's talk about what we do like and what what we have in common there. I just think it's, it used to be so much more fun to talk about Star Wars, and now I'm almost scared to, those hour-long conversations become more like hour-long debates, and maybe I'm not being completely fair. There's still, there'll always be that good aspect of Star Wars that we can connect and talk about. But it was just kind of a fun time back then. And don't get me wrong, it's a good time now. What does Andy from The Office say? I wish there was a way to know you're in the good times before you're out of the good times. I butchered that probably, but yeah, you get the point. We are in the good times. I mean, there is so much Star Wars content, so much Star Wars, collectibles, so much ability to make your own Star Wars videos. It's even greater than it was back then, and it's just a wonderful thing. To this day, Attack of the Clones, I still have great memories of it. Most people will say that Episode 3 is their favorite of the prequels. Episode 3 is their favorite of the prequels, and I probably agree with that as well. But Episode 2 is like Episode 2 and Episode 3. They're like a part 1, part 2 kind of thing. Even though that doesn't really make a lot of sense, because Episode 1 should be part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. But, to me, it's like Episode 2 and 3, just 1 almost feels like a standalone to me, and then 2 and 3 are like, okay, these are a package deal. And from a filmmaking perspective, I would say Episode 3 is the better film. But Episode 2, if I want to watch one of the prequels and I just want something that's fun and action packed and not gonna be so like heavy with all that happens in Episode 3, then Attack of the Clones is my choice. Love it. It's had a great impact on me and the Star Wars community. So, TK422 out. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would be really interested to hear your experience with Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Please leave a comment below and let me know what it was like for you at that, that time period in your life, and what you love about this movie. If you like this, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I will be talking more about my experience with each Star Wars film, as well as posting all sorts of Stormtrooper-like content. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.